Hello! Welcome to another episode of Caveman's Cards. Hello, I'm Caveman. We have a little bit of a different one today. I've decided, I love opening cards, so that's always going to be here. It's still probably going to be the majority of my videos, but also I'm going to start an investment challenge. So before I really got into this, and not just when I wasn't just ripping cards, a pastime of mine was just going on eBay, picking cheap players, picking their cards, and then flipping them later down the line for a little extra money. Finding guys that were undervalued and then flipping that to try to get a little bit just extra cash. I mean, it's like not necessarily day trading, but investments in some sense. So I'm going to do an investment challenge, and I think I'm going to try to keep it as a weekly update or every other week, but my goal is $20 a week. It's going to be invested into eBay cards. I'm strictly just going to do eBay because I do invest on some of these players on Whatnot as well. However, it's easier to be transparent with the eBay ones that I get because I can show you screenshots of what I paid for it. So $20 a week on players that I think are undervalued, or even if they're not currently undervalued, I think they'll go up based on certain circumstances, which we can go into. But $20 a week, I have this investment tracker here. It's going to track what we do. So I'll show it kind of at the beginning of the video, and then I'll go through what I've invested in, and then show it again at the end. I guess the little caveat is these are buy and hold players until something happens that will cause them to. For example, there are players that I think will be first-time All-Stars. So those first-time All-Stars, maybe I try to flip then, or maybe I think they'll have a decent playoff run, so I keep them till then, things like that. And then maybe I sell them. So we're going to be in the red a little bit before we're in the green, before I even try to sell any of these cards. So we're going to start out at $20 a week. If we start flipping cards and making more money, maybe we'll invest into some bigger cards. But I also like this because a lot of people invest in like the big cards, spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on single cards, which I definitely get, but that's not as accessible. So I definitely wouldn't say follow my advice at all. That's the big disclaimer. This is not investment advice at all. I would not follow what I say. But it's just kind of a cool, fun way to track who I'm looking at. But we can get started. So the first player, I think it's mostly basketball today, but then football. And I'm also going to try not to repeat players too much from video to video, just to get that feel. But I know there are going to be some duplicates. But to start off, I have this eBay purchase, which you can see here, of this Jalen Duren green select to 75. It's not a rookie. And then I have this Panini rookie Jalen Duren player of the day highlight. And I also will be, I don't know if I said this earlier, I will be including shipping costs as well. So it'll be, and it's not a hard 20, like it can't be slightly over, slightly under. I think we're slightly under this week. Some weeks it might be slightly over, but so I'd like to give a little bit of thought process of why I'm looking at these players. So Jalen Duren has taken a really big leap this year. And I think people are somewhat aware of that. Well, obviously people are aware that the Pistons themselves doing a lot better. And I think people know that a big reason is Duren. But I don't think people realize how good he's been. I think he is an all-star selection waiting to happen, not just an all-star selection, multi-time all-star. There's not a lot of bigs in the league who have the kind of game he does. And because of just the way basketball is played now, I think he can, there's not a lot of bigs that are as huge, athletic, as strong as him that can stop him from getting into the post, getting the shots he wants. And he finally has a nice post game. I know he came into the league as like an energy hustle guy, athletic, but Jalen Duren is got a lot of skill now. And I think a couple of things here could help move the prices up. One, all-star game selection, I think helps that out a ton. The second is a Pistons playoff run. I think if they make any noise whatsoever in the playoffs, and especially he'll be on TV more then, I think that's just going to help boost his value. So that is my first one, Jalen Duren. Next, we have some rookies coming up. current year rookies. So first one is I've got this new school Cedric Coward for the Grizzlies. I think people know that Cedric Coward's been good. I don't think they realize how good. He is one of the best rookies in the class. I think there's a shot he could win Rookie of the Year. I think people just don't realize that that's possible. So this card was relatively cheap too. But the thing about Cedric Coward is, one, he's not getting most of the attention because of Ja, right? So Ja is, until something happens with Ja, he's traded or they're back on track and they get more notoriety for getting back in the playoffs or whatever, no one's going to talk about Cedric Coward, right? So I think a couple of things can happen there. If Ja gets traded, Cedric Coward's stats will be crazy. And I think that will help him out. The other thing is, I just think as a long-term investment, if you've seen Cedric Coward played, he looks very polished. He's got a perfect game to be a part of a winning team. I think he's an all-star waiting to happen. So spending a couple bucks now on a rookie all-star, I think is worth it. So that is definitely one that I'm looking at. And then the next one I have, and full disclosure, this is definitely going to be one that I buy more of. I'll have repeats of. So this is a Jeremiah Fears on the Topps 45th anniversary. You can see how much I paid for it there. Jeremiah Fears is very, very, very underrated. So at the time of this recording, his stats are about 14, I think like 5 and 3, something like that. On good efficiency, like 45% from the field, and then around like 35-ish% from three. As a rookie point guard on a very bad team, that is really hard to do. And he is not getting any buzz at all. For one, because of Zion. Two, because Derek Queen is the rookie that's getting all of the hype. One, because of the trade for Derek Queen. And two, just because Derek Queen's been awesome. I've been buying some Derek Queen cards too, but the cat's kind of out of the bag on Derek Queen. But nobody's talking about Jeremiah Fears. And it is really hard to have the stats that he has as a rookie and be this efficient on a bad team. He looks awesome. I have zero fears about Fears in the future. This could be a longer term hold for sure. Because I just don't think this year any buzz will happen unless he has some sort of a huge game, which is possible. He could have like a 40-point game and people start talking about him. But as of right now, I think this is a long-term hold. I think he's a future all-star. That guy's awesome, especially once I feel like they have some good pieces they can move. Trey Murphy will probably get moved. Jose Alvarado. I don't know what's going to happen with Zion. Herb Jones could get traded. And they could just have Derek Queen and Jeremiah Fears on this team. So if they do that, I think if they just build a team around those two, there's some future all-star potential there. And if not, it's a pretty low-risk card to get. Okay, that was the end of basketball. And then I just have one football card. And this is Tyler Shuck of the New Orleans Saints. This is Tyler Shuck on the Optic Red Pandora. I love the Red Pandora parallels. If I see a Red Pandora, I just kind of buy it, even if it's a not that great player. But I specifically was looking for Tyler Shuck cards. So obviously, everyone knows Tyler Shuck is the starter of New Orleans. He is like 26-year-old rookie, I believe. I was not a believer at all. I have watched some of their games. And who did they beat? Did they beat Tampa? I should have looked that up before. But he has not been that bad. Like he I didn't actually realize he had some wheels, but he had some nice rushing yards his last game. The Saints look way better with him than they did with Spencer Rattler. And I am not saying that Tyler Shuck is a Hall of Famer in any way, shape, or form. He is not. I think he's kind of in the like Bo Nix-ish range, which Bo Nix is better, but I think kind of that, run the offense. He can get away from pressure. He can run a little bit, and he has a lot of experience, so he knows more than, you draft a rookie that started 1 year in college. He knows a little bit more. So my kind of idea with him is, and this is not the only Shuck card I bought. You'll probably see more as these investments videos go on. But Tyler Shuck is I think a solid quarterback. The amount that I've watched him, I came away impressed because the Saints don't have a ton of great weapons. They've got Olave and Kamara has been banged up, but that's kind of it. Their offensive line is mediocre. So I think the buy with him is maybe they win a game or two the remaining season. They keep him as the starter going into next year. I think that maybe the training camp time going into next year is maybe the Tyler Shuck sell time, or if he has a big game to close out any of these last few weeks. But I think he doesn't look that bad, and I think he will be the Saints starter next year. Because he's won some games while he's been the starter, the chances of them drafting a high quarterback have gone down a lot, and I don't think they really want to. I mean, they'd like to if they could get a top pick, but they're going to be like maybe 8, 9, 10, something like that. So they're not going to get one of the top quarterbacks. I think they'll ride with Shuck, and I think there'll be a chance to flip him. I don't think it'll be a long, long time because I don't think he's like I said, like a all-pro Hall of Fame quarterback. But I think he's solid enough that he'll stick around, and then there'll be a time to potentially flip those cards. And then if not, I just have a really cool red Pandora. I love the red Pandora. So that is what I have for the investments for this week. Here's the updated tracker. We are obviously currently in the red, and we will probably be in the red for a while. I think my goal with these is probably, so obviously update every week, and then maybe a quarterly update on where the investments are going. So obviously this is coming out in December. So a quarterly check-in would be next March, but kind of going through the investments, and at that time maybe I've by the actual check-in I will have sold some of these. We'll see. But yeah, definitely, and like I said, some of these players I'm buying through whatnot, but I'm not including those in the challenge. I'm only including the ones that I buy on eBay that I can show you the screenshot of. This is the card that I bought, and then I can show you the screenshot. Boom, this is what it sold for. So definitely let me know if you liked if you like this video, if you're like, this is stupid, don't do this again. If you liked the players I picked, or again, if you thought it was stupid, and give me an idea of what players you all are looking at. But that's what I've got for now. Definitely like, comment, subscribe, please. Potentially at some point down the line, these will be in the eBay store and linked in the description. And then also on my whatnot link below, you can get $15 off, and you can invest in some of these players, get some steals on them, and then potentially see what happens. Like I said, this is not investment advice. This is just me showing you what I'm doing and being transparent. So let me know in the comments, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya!